name is Paul Juberg. I'm here in Kansas, Wichita, Kansas. I'm standing in front of the St. George Orthodox Christian Cathedral. As you look at this building, you can see its beautiful artwork. Massive Catholic Church. And I want to testify this morning. It's a Sunday morning. We've got some people in Mass. Catholic priest talking in Latin. I'm holding a book here called The Great Controversy. It's a book that has gone all over the world. It's a book that's gone to South America, Europe, Africa, North America, translated, one of the most translated books in the whole world. The Great Controversy. The Bible, the book of Revelation specifically, says that in the end of time, something is going to happen, something magnificent, something like we've never seen before, and that the Roman Catholic Church, led out by the papacy, is going to unite with the United States of America, the government of the United States of America. Under this union with spiritualism, this threefold union, we are going to see something happen that is going to take away our religious freedom. Freedom of conscience is going to be threatened. And I want to read something from the Bible, from the book of Daniel, chapter 3. Daniel chapter 3. In the book of Daniel chapter 3, we saw something similar to this happen where the church and state came together, that King Nebuchadnezzar made an image of gold, 666, and that everybody on the plain of Dura shall worship this golden image. All the people were brought together. But in verse 16 it says that there was 3 people. How many? 3 people that would not worship this golden image. It looked beautiful, just like this Catholic Church. It looked beautiful. There were 3 people who said, we will not worship this image. And their names were Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And this is what they said to King Nebuchadnezzar. We are not careful to answer thee. You are not politically correct. Everybody and their mother these days is politically correct. But Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, when it came to God, they said, we're not careful. We're not politically correct. If it be so, as King Nebuchadnezzar threatened them, that they need to go and worship this image. This is what they said to King Nebuchadnezzar. If it be so, our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace. And he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto you, Nebuchadnezzar, this is straight talk, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. That's for me too. I'm not going to worship this image, this beast system that's going to be set up in these end times. Then Nebuchadnezzar, full of fury and form of his visage, was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 7 times more than usual. That's a one hot furnace. And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosen, their hats, and their other garments, so they were ready for the heat. And they cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore, because the king's commandment was so urgent, and the furnace exceedingly hot, the flames of fire slew the men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Because these guys obeyed Nebuchadnezzar's foolish decree, they ended up dying. That's what's going to happen when you follow the foolish decrees of man, the foolish decrees of the papacy. You will die and you will never be around again. But notice what happened to these 3 men that stood up for the God of heaven. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they fell down, bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar, the king, he was watching. He's expecting them to die and for the flames to take their life. But notice what verse 24 says. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished. He rose up in haste. And he spake, saying to his counselors, did we not cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said, King, true. He answered and he said, lo, I see 4 men. I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire. They have no hurt. And the form of the 4th is like the Son of God. Then Nebuchadnezzar came near the mouth of the burning fire furnace and spake, said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High God, come forth, come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth out of the midst of the fire. We read here an account in the story of Daniel chapter 3, these 3 men saved miraculously because they worship the God of heaven. They worship the Most High God. They don't worship the papacy. They don't worship the laws of man, the decrees of priests. They worship the God who created the human body, that created this earth, that created the galaxy. And there's going to be people at the end of time that say, we're not going to worship the papacy. We're not going to worship this beautiful image that the United States government, along with the Pope, has set up. And they will be delivered, friends. They will be delivered. But the people who bow down, they will not be delivered. And this book, by the way, The Great Controversy, this is not an ordinary book. This is an extraordinary book. This is a supernatural book. The book that I am holding in my hands was written in the 1800s, and this is a true story. There was a woman that received this book and she started to read it. And because this book points to Jesus Christ, it uplifts Him. It uplifts the glory of God all through these pages. This woman started reading this book and her life was changed. She said, I don't want to drink alcohol anymore. I don't want to smoke marijuana. I want to follow Jesus Christ. He's coming. He offers me glory everlasting. Glory that no human eye has ever seen. People get high all the time, but we're talking about the Most High. We're talking about a God that can deliver you in the flames 7 times hotter. The Son of God coming into the fiery furnace. The Nebuchadnezzar will say, what in the world? This book changed this lady's life. And her husband didn't like it. Her husband said, Matt, I want to get high with you and you don't want to get high with me anymore. And you know what he did? He took this book and he threw it in a fiery furnace of his house, into his fireplace. And he said, this piece of trash, he threw it into the fire. And his wife was so sad, crying. But then they both noticed something. They noticed that this book was laying there in the fireplace. Fire going all over. And guess what? This book was not burning. This book did not burn. This is a book that God's own hand came upon. And this is a truth worth dying for. May the Lord bless you, and may you stand up for the Most High God. And may you not be caught up with the foolishness of this world. Because that day is coming. The Pope 3 years ago came to the United States Congress. The Pope and the United States government, they have a plan and they're going to set up an image. Don't worship the image of the beast, friends. And may the Lord bless you. Amen.